My wife announced her pregnancy with a smile. I knew instantly the baby wasn't mine. The champagne cork popped, and everyone cheered. My mother was crying. My father clapped me on the shoulder so hard it hurt. Jennifer's sister was already planning the baby shower, her voice shrill with excitement as she rattled off themes and color schemes. And there was Jennifer, in the center of it all, radiant in a cream dress that hugged her figure, one hand resting protectively on her still flat stomach. She caught my eye across the crowded living room and smiled, that brilliant, practiced smile I'd fallen in love with 8 years ago. I smiled back and raised my glass. Inside, I was doing math. 3 months pregnant, she'd said. 12 weeks. Which meant conception happened sometime in early November. I remembered November clearly. It was the month I'd stopped trying. November was when I'd reached for her in bed, slid my hand across the cool sheets to where she lay with her back to me, and she'd murmured, "Not tonight, David. I'm exhausted." It was the 4th time that week, the 10th time that month. November was when I'd suggested we get away for the weekend, just the two of us, like we used to. She'd said she was swamped at work. Too many accounts to manage. Maybe next month. November was when I'd found her phone face down on the kitchen counter at midnight, screen glowing with a notification she quickly dismissed when I walked in. By December, I'd stopped reaching across the bed, stopped suggesting weekend trips, stopped asking questions I wasn't sure I wanted answered. And now it was February, and my wife was pregnant with a child that couldn't possibly be mine. "Speech," someone shouted. Probably Jennifer's brother, Ryan, already 3 beers deep. The crowd took up the chant. "Speech. Speech." Jennifer's eyes found mine again, something uncertain flickering behind that smile. Testing. Measuring. I set down my glass and moved through the crowd toward her, wrapped my arm around her waist, felt her stiffen slightly before melting into me, playing her part perfectly. "I don't have much to say," I began, my voice steady. "Except that Jennifer has made me the happiest man alive." Again, the room erupted. Jennifer turned her face into my chest, and I felt her shoulders shake. Everyone thought she was crying tears of joy. Only I could feel how hard her heart was racing. That night, after everyone left and we cleaned up the wreckage of celebration, crumpled napkins, abandoned champagne flutes, a burst balloon deflating sadly in the corner, Jennifer took a shower. I heard the water running as I sat on the edge of our bed, staring at nothing. The bathroom door opened in a cloud of steam. She emerged wearing the silk robe I'd bought her for Christmas, the one she'd thanked me for and never worn. Until tonight. "That went well," she said, toweling her hair. "Your mom is so excited." "She is. And your dad." I thought he might actually cry. He might have. She paused, reading something in my tone. "Are you okay?" I looked up at her. Really looked. She was 31, same as me, but she'd always seemed younger somehow. Something about the way she laughed, uninhibited and bright. I hadn't heard that laugh in months. "I'm fine," I said. "Just tired." She crossed the room and sat beside me, close enough that her thigh pressed against mine. The contact felt foreign. "I know this is a lot." I was shocked too. We weren't exactly trying. The understatement of the century. "No," I agreed. "We weren't." Her hand found mine. Her skin was warm from the shower, soft. I remembered when that touch would have set me on fire. Now it just felt like a performance. "David." Her voice dropped lower, took on that breathy quality I used to love. "I've been so stressed with work. So distant. I know that. But maybe this baby is exactly what we need. A fresh start." She leaned in, lips brushing my jaw. Her robe fell open slightly, revealing the curve of her breast. Everything about the moment was calculated. The timing, the touch, the vulnerability. She was rewriting history, creating intimacy that would make the timeline make sense. I turned to her, cupped her face in my hands. Her eyes widened, surprised by the intensity. "When?" I asked softly. "When what? When did it happen? I want to remember." Something sharp flickered across her features before she smoothed it away. "David, what?" "Humor me." I stroked her cheek with my thumb. "We've been so disconnected. I want to remember the night we made this baby. The night things turned around for us." She blinked, her mind racing behind those wide green eyes. "It was November. That Friday night. You came home late from your conference, remember? We didn't talk much, we just—" "November 21st, I supplied. The Friday before Thanksgiving." Relief flooded her face. "Yes, exactly. That was the night I spent in Cleveland." The The conference ran late, so I stayed an extra night. I didn't get home until Saturday afternoon. The color drained from her face. But maybe you're thinking of a different Friday. I continued, my voice still gentle, still tender. Let's see. November 7th? That was the night you worked until 11. November 14th? You went to your book club. November 28th? You had dinner with your sister. David, I kept track, I said quietly. Not because I wanted to. Because the absence became something I couldn't ignore. Every night you weren't there. Every excuse. Every time you turned away from me in bed. Tears spilled down her cheeks, but I couldn't tell if they were real or another performance. She'd always been good at crying. So I'll ask you again, I said. When did it happen? It was an accident, she whispered. A mistake. One time, David. One stupid time. Who? She shook her head, pulling away from me. It doesn't matter. It matters to me. Doesn't matter, she repeated, standing up. Because I'm keeping this baby, and we're going to raise it together. That's what matters. The audacity of it stole my breath. Not just the affair, not just the pregnancy, but the assumption that I would simply accept it. Smile. Play along. Pretend. Why? I asked. Why would I do that? She turned to face me, and for the first time, I saw something raw beneath the mask. Desperation. Because you love me. Because we have a life together. A home. A history. 8 years, David. You're going to throw that away over one mistake. You're asking me to raise another man's child. I'm asking you to be the man I married. The man who promised to love me through anything. Through anything, I repeated. Not through everything. There's a line, Jennifer. And you crossed it. She collapsed onto the bed, her face in her hands, shoulders shaking. I didn't mean for this to happen. I never wanted to hurt you. Then why? Because you stopped seeing me. The words exploded out of her. You stopped trying. Stopped asking about my day. Stopped making me laugh. You turned into this ghost who shared my bed but wasn't really there. And yes, someone else noticed me. Someone else made me feel alive again. And I was weak and stupid and wrong. But don't you dare act like you're blameless in how we fell apart. The accusation hung in the air between us. Maybe she was right. Maybe I had checked out emotionally before she checked out physically. Maybe the silence started with me. But that didn't change the math. I slept in the guest room that night. Lay awake staring at the ceiling, my mind churning through scenarios. Divorce. Counseling. Staying. Leaving. Every option felt impossible. Around 3 a.m., my phone buzzed. A text from my brother. Congrats, man. Dad hasn't stopped smiling. So happy for you both. I set the phone down and closed my eyes. The next morning, I found Jennifer at the kitchen table, coffee untouched in front of her. She looked small in her oversized sweater, exhausted. His name is Patrick, she said without preamble. From work. My boss's boss. It happened at the holiday party. We were both drunk. It meant nothing. I poured myself coffee, sat across from her. Does he know? About the baby? No. Are you going to tell him? No. Does he have a wife? She flinched. Yes. I nodded slowly. So this doesn't just destroy our marriage. It destroys his too. And you were going to let me believe, let everyone believe, that I was the father. You were going to build an entire lie and expect me to live inside it. I was scared, she whispered. I was terrified. And yes, I thought if we could just get through this, maybe we could actually fix things. Use this as a reason to fall in love again. You can't build something real on a foundation of lies. I know. Her voice broke. I know that now. We sat in silence, the February sun streaming through the kitchen window, illuminating the dust motes floating between us. I don't know if I can do this, I finally said. I don't know if I can look at you and not see the betrayal. Look at that baby and not see everything you took from us. I'm sorry, she sobbed. David, I'm so sorry. And watching her fall apart, I felt something unexpected. Not forgiveness, not even close, but a flicker of what used to be there. The memory of loving her, of choosing her, of building a life together that had once felt unshakable. I need time, I said. I need to think. She nodded, wiping her eyes. Take whatever you need. I stood, grabbed my keys, walked to the door. David. I turned back. For what it's worth, she said, her voice barely audible. I do love you. I know I destroyed everything. But that part was always real. I wanted to believe her. Maybe a part of me even did. But the real question, the one that would haunt me in the days and weeks to come, wasn't whether she loved me now. It was how long she'd been capable of lying to me before she ever got caught. and whether I could ever trust that the woman I'd married was the same woman sitting at our kitchen table, crying over coffee, carrying someone else's child. I walked out without answering, because sometimes the hardest truth isn't what someone did to you. It's realizing you might forgive them anyway, and having to live with what that says about you.